So the brand new Dragonlance book, Dragons of Deceit by Margaret, Weis, and Tracy Hickman is coming out in just a few more weeks. Haven't pre-ordered it yet because I actually would prefer the paperback copy. Fits better on my shelf. But the more I'm starting to read about this book, honestly, the more I'm starting to get a little worried. So let's talk about that today here in my Geek Corner. So it's just great to have each and every one of you here. My name is Rev Kev, and I really appreciate you being here on my channel. I currently have over 1,600 subscribers. Each of you just mean the world to me. I love interacting with you. I love reading your comments and replying, and just really means a lot to me. And as I've been saying over the last couple of months, for the months of June and the months of July, all the money that I make from YouTube, whether it's super chats or tips in the tip jar or just with ad revenue, is all going to be going to Help Compassion Canada. So we're part of a special project in Guatemala to help young moms and babies. And so at the end of July, or probably into the first couple of weeks of August, I'll do a video to say how much we've been able to raise, and is going to be sent over to this Guatemala project. So I want to talk today about Dragonlance. I am a big fan of Dragonlance. I read the very first Dragonlance Chronicles book way back in 1985 when I was still in high school. So dating myself big time today, and loved it. It's by far, I think Dragonlance Chronicles and then Dragonlance Legends are 6 of my all-time favorite books ever. I read them regularly every few years, especially Dragonlance Legends. I reread that probably every 5 years or so. I'm currently rereading Dragonlance Chronicles. I'm in book 3, just started it today, and love the characters, love the story, love the tension, love the romance, love the action, love the characters. It's like going home every time I go back to reading this. So when I heard that a new book was coming out, obviously I was very excited about it. You know, now it's great. There's a lot of great books written by other authors in the world of Crin, but Margaret, Weis, and Tracy Hickman, they're the OG, right? They're the ones who created it, founded it, and so I was so looking forward to reading something new from them. And it's starting to, I'm honestly starting to get a little worried about this. And yeah, so let's talk about this today. Should we be worried? Now, the reason why I ask, should we be worried, is I talk to a lot of friends of mine and a lot of people online, a lot of people here on the channel, a lot of people on social media who are big D&D fans who are not happy with the direction of Dungeons & Dragons. So Wizards of the Coast has released a 5th edition of Dungeons & Dragons, and honestly, I don't play it. I haven't played Dungeons & Dragons since the 3.5 edition. That's the last version of D&D that I've ever played. I tried to get into edition 4, and I didn't like the mechanics of it at all. It was just way too World of Warcraft for me. Too much like a video game with the tokens, and I just didn't like it. And you're a tank, and you're a healer, and that's all you are. It just lost so much of the creative role play, especially of AD&D back when I was a kid. So I can't really speak to where Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition is right now, but a lot of trusted friends of mine don't like it, don't play it. They're just not happy with the direction of it. And then we got an announcement a little while back that Spelljammer and Dragonlance is coming back to Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. And to kind of prime that pump, so to say, a new trilogy of books is coming out. So the Dragonlance Destinies story is coming out. 3-book series by Margaret, Weis, and Tracy Hickman. Now, why am I starting to get a little bit worried? Well, they're starting to release more and more information about the book. And so this here comes directly from Margaret Weis's website, so margaretweis.com. There's a write-up about the book. It gives a little bit of a synopsis of what the book is going to be about. Right, so it says, Destina Rosethorn, as her name implies, believes herself to be a favored child of destiny. Cool. But when her father dies in the War of the Lance, so that's the war that takes place in the original trilogy of Dragonlance Chronicles, she watches her carefully constructed world come crashing down. Not only does she lose her beloved father, but the legacy he has left her, the family land and castle. And to save her father, she hatches a bold plan to go back in time and prevent his death. Now, time travel in Dragonlance plays a huge part in the Dragonlance Legends series. And I, for one, actually really loved the rules that they put in place about time travel. So it's not a science thing, it's a magic thing. And basically, they treat time like a giant river. So there's this giant river going through time. And time travel is basically like picking up a pebble from one point of the river and just dropping it at another point in the river. You'll get a ripple effect, you'll get some slight ripples, but you cannot change the flow of time. In other words, time cannot be changed unless one of the races that weren't originally created by the gods of Kryn managed to time travel. People like Kender or dwarves or gnomes. These races, because they were secondary races, they were created later. They're kind of outside of that original time flow. If they were to travel through time, they could disrupt things. And that was the whole story behind Legends when Tasselhoff Burrfoot traveled through time. So this is the first thing that I'm worried about, is the fact that they're going to try to do another time travel thing. Don't break what you built before. If they break the rules that this character is going to actually be able to change time for whatever reason, it better fit within what was already established in Legends, or that's going to sit with me pretty badly. So the synopsis here continues. It says, first she has to secure the device of time journeying, the magical device last known in the possession of the spirited Kender Tasselhoff Burrfoot. Now, how this character knows Tasselhoff has this device, there's another thing that gets me a little bit worried. That's better be thought of well, right? And so, but to change time, so she needs another magical device, artifact, okay? The most powerful and dangerous artifact ever created. Now, it was interesting. So somehow she knows, because she's human, she can't change time. So it's not just going to be a repeat of Legends where Tass is going to go back in time with her and that's going to be the agent to change it. She needs another artifact. And so the other artifact, we just learned what that is through an article that just came out today on IGN.com, where they gave an exclusive preview of the new Dragonlance book trilogy. And so they gave a little excerpt here of the book. Now, it says in here, there's a little bit of a warning, the final book may change a little bit. But what we learn about here is that the dwarves of Thorbarden have a jewel in their possession that's in kind of the mountain halls of Thorbarden that contains the essence of the god of chaos. Now, I actually honestly didn't read the Chaos War books. That had come out much later. I kind of stopped reading fiction for a long time. I just stopped reading for some reason. I don't know why, I just did. So, but the main books, and these are actually the next two books I'm going to read right after I'm done reading the last book in Chronicles. The first is the Second Generation. So really kind of a collection of stories about the children of the heroes of the Lance, of the main characters from the first two trilogies. And then you have the kind of continuation of the story, the Dragons of Summer Flame. So, which is actually by far the biggest Dragonlance book I own. Like, this sucker's huge. So this is going to be a big one to read. This is like 600 pages here. So, but this is the Chaos War, where there was kind of the creator god, the main god, and then this chaos god at war with one another, how all the other gods of Paladine and Tachesis and Reorx, how they fit in there. I'll find out when I read it. But we find out through this excerpt here that this essence is in this gem. And this character here, Destina, was that her name? Destina? I already forgot what it was already. Destina Rosethorn is there at Thorbarden to get that device. She needs that device to change time. She needs that device to bring chaos into the River of Time so that she can save her father. Okay. A number of things to worry about, but it could create a really cool, interesting story that I'm actually looking forward to. Now, here's where my biggest worry kicks in. Is as I continue in this right up here where it says, Destina's quest takes her from the dwarven kingdoms of Thorbarden to the towns of Solace and beyond, setting in motion, listen to this, setting in motion a change of disastrous events that threaten to divert the course of the River of Time, alter the past, and forever change the future. Does this sound like any other property that you love that has gone down a dark path over the last number of years? This, for me, is just getting my spider sense tingling like crazy. That, and again, and I'm unfamiliar with the change they've done in 5th edition. I'm unfamiliar with that, but this just sounds like an opportunity to come in and all the things that people don't like about Dragonlance 5th edition to bring it now into Dragonlance. And if they go and change the past, change the War of the Lance, change anything about the main characters, I'm gonna lose it. Like, this is one of my biggest loves, is these characters. I just finished reading A Dragons of Winter Night last night, and the funeral at the end, and I won't spoil it in case you never read it. I read this 40 years ago, right? And the funeral still made me cry. Like, I was crying. Actually, I finished it this morning. My wife's looking at me like, what is the matter with you? And I'm like, oh my goodness, like one of my friends has died. Like, that's how much I love these characters over the last 40 years. And just this little note here, like this could just be marketing trying to hype it up, but this whole divert the course of the river of time, because that's what she's trying to do. But it's going to set up a whole bunch of disastrous chains of motion. So are they going to try to make this, this new timeline where the Dragon High Lords won and Tachesis took over? And so there's this whole new realm of darkness. It just sounds like this opportunity to completely reboot Kryn and make it in the image of 5th edition. That, again, so many trusted people that I know and care about don't like. Oh, I don't know, we can hope, right? So I'm on a waiting list to take this book out from the library when it comes out again, just because I don't want to pay for the hardcover. I want it in paperback so it can fit on my shelf nicely with all the others. But if the waiting list is too long, I might give in and buy the hardcover so I can devour this really fast, because I'm worried. So that's where I'm sitting right now here with this Dragonlance book. So I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Do we as Dragonlance fans, like OG Dragonlance fans, like we have been a part of this since the 80s, since the 90s, do we have cause to be worried? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And again, thank you so much for being a part of the channel here. It really means a lot to me. If you're new, would love if you'd hit that subscribe button and be a part of the community. So until the next video, God bless you, everybody, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Take care.